I wanted a B camera that could match the colors of my FS7 and use the same Fujinon Super 35 lenses. And because this has a Super 35 sensor, it can do it. I can build it real big and also real small. I can throw it on a real compact tripod and of course a gimbal. The whole point of this new camera is not to replace my Sony FS7. It's really just to add to my list of like what I can offer people. Because I have a shoot coming up this weekend where I need gimbal shots. And I have a gimbal, but I didn't have a camera that would give me the colors I want. So a camera I can pop on a gimbal is perfect. And then in a few weeks, I have another shoot coming up where I'll need 2 camera angles and I'll need to be able to match them. And I've matched this camera with FX6s and FX3s. It's very easy to do in S-Log3. But this shoot coming up, they want it on a Rec 709 look. So we're gonna find out how to make that Rec 709 look that matches between the FX30 and the FS7. For our tests, we're gonna be using both Fujinon lenses, so we don't have to worry about different types of lenses handling colors differently. And my wife was very lovely and let me use her as a test subject for our first day. Now, right off the bat, I thought it'd be pretty simple, and I thought I would be able to match the S-Cinetone look, because the S-Cinetone look is pretty popular. I've been on a few shoots where people want to use it. So we tried to match the S-Cinetone look. I figured it would be pretty easy, and after about 3 hours, I actually was able to dial in a look that looked quite close, but then I figured this out. We were shooting at 5500 Kelvin, and look at all these things I did to my white balance here. So basically, the new Rec 709 look that I created it with having these tints applied, which is horrible. I didn't even realize it. I should have just had a neutral white balance without any tints applied to it. But I had customized that white balance in the past and added some tints, and I liked how it looked. And I just didn't realize I should take that off while creating this look. Because if I change the white balance, it's going to completely change the tint. So basically what it means is we have to start over. Just got this Jupio triple Sony battery charger, because Sony sells battery chargers that are like $110, and it only charges 1 battery at a time. It's like 110, 120. And this thing is $110 and it charges 3 at once. So I like that. And I think I can charge it off of a USB power bank. Plus, check this out. When you put a battery in, you can push this button on the side. I'll show you the battery left in each power. So we're gonna see how this goes. I just didn't want to buy 3 of Sony's chargers just to charge 3 batteries. That's just stupid. It feels stupid. So we're gonna see how this goes, see how fast it charges. Also, I just spent $1,200 to get these 3 items. This was genuinely one of the most painful purchases of my life. Buying something this tiny for $500. And the crazy thing is, I don't even know if I have enough of them. We'll see. I just have some shoots where I need to shoot XAVC-I, and I need these cards to do it. And I don't want to cheap out and get some cards that might fail on me, so I went with the Sony ones. So after charging these batteries for an hour, I've got my results. This battery started at 76%, and after an hour is at 100%. This battery was at 66%, and at the end it was at 78%. This battery started at 40%, and at the end of an hour it was at 52%. So this went up 24%, this went up 12%, this went up 12%. In total, between all 3, 48% of a full battery was basically charged in an hour. Before, in the past, I was using this the last time I used these kind of batteries, but I wasn't doing shoots as often, so I didn't notice how fast it charged. But when I actually tested it, I was getting 5% an hour. Maybe this is defaulty, or that's just how it works. It is a USB-C micro, so maybe that has something to do with it. Anyways, I'm gonna do one more test on this. We're gonna put just one battery in, and I'm gonna see if all the power gets directed to that one battery, because that'd be cool. So let's see. And if we're shooting 60 FPS with 2 cards, we'll get 2 hours and 16 minutes. That would be a lot of B-roll, but maybe they'll want more. We'll see. We'll see if that's enough. Gonna find out in the field. It's been an hour. The 4th light is still blinking on this, so maybe it's not fully charged. This was at 52%. Let's pop it in. Let's see what we got. 91%. Okay. That's still better. It doesn't seem to be as fast. I guess it spreads out the charge a little bit, but still that's pretty good. So 52%, so 39% in an hour. That's not bad. Cool. I like this. I'm planning to keep this in my bag when I travel, and then throw like a USB-C power bank, plug it into there. I think that should work. Let's try this. Cool, okay, yeah, that's what I was hoping. That I could just have this in my bag and it could just be charging. So that's cool, just in case I run low on batteries. Nice, I'm very happy with this. And like, look how compact it is. Just put it in my bag. And it has like little SD card slots, which is cool. I can store some extra SD cards in here, just in case I want them. So, kind of cool. Well, there you have it. I'm happy with that. We are on our way to watch a short documentary that my friend Erica made. Santa Cruz. Woohoo! Here we are. This place looks dope. Hey Maggie? 0.5. Look at how beautiful that ocean is.
So pretty. And that's the venue where Erica's having her screening.
That's right.
Right here by the ocean.
And Magnolia's learning to stand.
Whoa.
That's so cute.
That's amazing.
Like cool painting. This was not your everyday filmmaker documentary screening, because Erica made a documentary that was focused on the day and like what it's like to be a fisherman in California, and she packed the room full of fishermen and people who are in the industry and who are in this world. So it was actually the people in the audience, this video was speaking to them, because it's like reflecting like, hey, we understand like how you're living. This is like, we want to honor one of you. And so I thought that was so cool that Erica packed the room like that. She could have packed it with filmmakers and just used it as a networking event, but instead she brought all the people that like lived this life. And then of course Erica talked about the film more, and then they had a whole panel full of people from the industry, and it was just such a cool experience. We had a great time, and we goofed off definitely a bit. So great job, Erica. Love what you're doing. It's inspiring. And now it's time for us to get back to work creating that Rec 709 look. I had mentioned my situation to a friend of mine named Brenton. He is a very skilled, very excellent DP in the Sacramento area. Also owns an Area Alexa. If you're looking for an Area Alexa, great guy to work with. Also just super talented. Anyways, I mentioned my issues to him, and he's like, dude, let's jump on a phone call. Like, let's work this through together. And I was like, really? He's like, yeah, let's do it. So we jumped on a FaceTime call, and Brenton spent like an hour with me just running through different ideas of how we can make this work. So the first idea that he came up with is, let's burn a LUT into the FS7 and burn a LUT into the FX30. Maybe that'll work. I didn't know how to do that on the FS7, so he showed me how. Okay, these don't seem too far off. This one obviously is more saturated than this one, but that's something we could correct. This solution actually worked pretty well and got us quite close between the two cameras. The only downside though is I have to shoot an S-Log3, and on the FS7 when you're shooting an S-Log3 and baking a LUT into it, like while you're doing it, you can only use 3 white balances. So we don't have too much flexibility. So although this is a viable option, we wanted to find a better option. The first solution that we found is we picked a standard color gamma that looked most similar to the FS7's Rec 7, like F55 Rec 709 color gamma. So we went with the ITU 709 and color mode Pro. Those colors seem to be the most close. Spent some time dialing it in, and this is what the final result looked like. Super close, super usable. But the only downside is the FX30 is not using a high gamma color profile, so there's very little dynamic range, and if you look in the highlights, they just get crunched super fast. So I went back to Brenton to discuss with him more, and he's recommended that I just shoot both of these cameras in the highest gamma mode that we can. That looks good. And honestly, since we're having the most amount of trouble dialing in the FX30, we decided to just pick a high gamma profile on the FX30 that looked good and then match the FS7 to that, because the FX7 gives you a lot more color customization than the FX30 does. And this was the thing that finally worked. And this is the final result that we got after all the many hours of testing. And I'm really happy with it. I think the image just looks good on both cameras. There's slight differences if you stare at it, but they're very easy to correct. Take you about 15 seconds if you need to. And then both cameras are shooting in their highest gamma modes, so you're getting the most amount of dynamic range. So it feels good knowing that I'm delivering an image that'll look good and that'll match easily. And then also there's going to be a lot of dynamic range. So all in all, that's what I was going for. I want to feel good about the footage that I'm passing off to people. And I think we're ready. So I'm going to use this on a shoot next week, and we'll see what happens.